Today, Oppenheimer and the Mad Scientists. I look back at how cinema portrayed scientists, and I tell you my favorite film when it comes to the invention of the nuclear bomb. No other scientific achievement symbolizes both triumph and madness of science than the development of the atomic bomb, and the boss at the helm of this project, Oppenheimer. This for sure attracted the director Christopher Nolan to this topic. Usually known for super deep superheroes or complicated concepts of reality and time. It is his first biopic, and as such it is in the tradition of a number of biopics made in the last 30 years, whether it is Radioactive about Marie Curie, who fell victim of her scientific endeavors with radioactivity, Kinsey about the sexual behavior scientist and his fight to enhance knowledge about sexuality, Ron Howard's A Beautiful Mind about the brilliant mathematician John Nash, Theory of Everything, a very human portrait about the physicist Stephen Hawking. The list could go on. All these films have in common that they focus on the scientist as human being. But Oppenheimer puts everything into the shadow in terms of ambition, cost, and success. An enormous achievement, given that you can assume that the majority of cinema-goers know the outcome of this story in the same way as they knew when they went to cinema to watch a film about the Titanic. Rumor has it that it was the most expensive film at all time, and everyone went to cinema. While 21st century cinema tries to tell the story of scientists as human beings, scientists in the 20th century were the protagonists, usually in a completely different way, as mad scientists. This tradition goes back to the Scottish author Robert Louis Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which was truly visionary as it showed that science could be a force for good and bad. No wonder there were countless adaptations until today, also because his hero was not just a nerd between test tubes, but a kind of romantic animalic lover, so a perfect topic also for female audiences. Maybe I should hold this. Self-experiments became a normal feature of mad scientists in the horror genre. Another famous example became The Fly. Its 1986 remake also showed our scientists' desire that went beyond dusty theory. The other category of mad scientist was the one who created monsters, Frankenstein.
One man crazy, three very sane spectators.
Also this went back to a 19th century novel. The film loses quickly interest in the creator and follows the creature. You could say it was always a monster rather than the scientist who left an impression in the countless Frankenstein film versions. For the scientist, the main purpose was then to contain the monster of his own making. All these films, or most of these films, ended assuringly as the threat was dealt with by the end of the film, at least until the next episode. As we know, there's an open ending in Oppenheimer. Fortunately, one may say, because otherwise Nolan wouldn't have managed to make this film and we to watch it. Oppenheimer is a sincere endeavor, and Nolan tries to understand the person and politics. And with this, he is fully in the tradition of biopics of the last 30 years. But does he really manage to express the madness behind this project? It's curious that the character of a mad scientist disappeared in the 90s. It might have been because of the end of the Cold War and the advent of personal computer and internet that science was seen more, let me say, in a constructive light. However, in this time where some politicians threaten with nuclear war again, one film still seems to be more appropriate in its dealing with a nuclear bomb. This film doesn't have an open ending. Originally, the idea was to finish with a cake battle, but then I doubt I would have mentioned it here. We see the microcosm of a government with all the representatives of the institutions you would expect to find in the room where it happens, including the scientists, a truly mad character and a fascist, as it is revealed then. It's becoming clear he's running the show, which ends spectacularly in its madness. Anyway, that's it for the episode. I promise the next topics will be more cheerful.